Today we are talking to General Manager of JacksonWink MMA Academy, Mr. Michael Lyubimov. Michael, it is a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Before we start talking about your fighters and people from Poland that already have trained in Jackson MMA, I need to ask you about the start of this JacksonWink Academy. As I know, Greg Jackson began in Albuquerque with Jackson's fitness and MMA, and then he met Mike Winklejohn, and they started to build something new. When did you came there and start to work with them?
I came here about 3.5 years for this new training facility because they used to have a different gym on the other side of town, and then they were kind of outgrowing that place because obviously, you know, they got notoriety for like training Jon Jones, Holly Holm, and a lot of big name fighters. So, you know, the facility was a little bit smaller, so they were looking for you know, new fighters from all over the seas. You know, they want to come here to America, and they didn't have a place to stay, so it was hard for them to find apartments and this and that. So what they decided to do is to open a new facility, and at that time, I guess it wasn't working out with the old general manager. So and I kind of happened to be there, and I started talking to Coach Winklejohn because he's the owner of this new building. So and then he pretty much hired me, and that's how it happened, you know. So I've been here for about 4 years.
Mm-hmm. And what exactly do you do for JacksonWink Academy? What's your work?
Pretty much everything around the whole facility. It's like I am like there's one person around this whole epicenter of, you know, thousands of fighters that are trying to come here and train here. So in this facility, we can house fighters. We have dorm rooms, apartments, and I can house at the time about 40-50 fighters. So what happens is I deal with a lot of inquiries, I deal with a lot of pricing, you know, I deal with a lot of pretty much maintaining the whole place. It's a really big building. So manager, you know, like there are a lot of people that work here and stuff, but like, you know, pretty much I am the connection to the outside world, as you would say, you know.
Mm-hmm. I understand. Okay, how many pro fighters do you have right now in Jackson MMA?
I can't even count, man. So, because it's like, you know, we have main fighters that stay here, and then fighters that come from all over the world just for camps, you know. Like, we have thousands of fighters, like, really, if you think about it, the people that train here. It's, I always tell people, like, you know, Greg Jackson started operating in 1992. UFC came around in 1993, right? So Greg was already, even before UFC started, he was already coaching, you know? So the amount of fighters that train here or associated with this gym is just insane.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't even count. It's like, we don't even count. It's impossible because you have guys come in for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, 2 months. I got guys staying here for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. I don't know. There's people from all over the world. So it's hard to say.
Mm-hmm. JacksonWink is not only pro fighters, but also, as I remember, you have that program for amateurs, and I would like to ask you, how does it develop?
Yeah, it's we have a very strong amateur team. So because whenever we started, you know, when we started this gym, it was supposed to be only pro, you know, and then we started getting so many inquiries of fighters that have they're not the pro fighters, but they have, like, you know, amateur background. They're like high-level wrestlers, like, you know, they never fought, or like, you know, judoka guys or like Muay Thai guys. You know, they're trying to transition to MMA and fight professionally. So that's why we started this program, you know, amateur MMA, and then and it's took off. You know, we have a special hour dedicated to amateur training, where we closely watch the fighters, develop the fighters. We, you know, and then they cross-train with pro fighters as well, just at a different time, like more techniques. You know, grappling we'll train together, like some wrestling, you know, we'll do together. But like heavy-duty sparrings, they do separate. You know, like we have amateur hour and we have pro hours, and sometimes pro fighters go to amateurs as well, and they train together. You know, so. Pretty much we're developing the guys from ground up, you know, ground zero, and then bring them up and then build on what they already have. So what we try to do is, I'm doing it. Sorry.
No problem.
So yeah, so that's how it works.
Okay, so let's say that I'm a fighter. I have some experience in maybe Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and so on, and then I would like to join your program. What do I have to do?
Yeah, it's pretty easy process actually. You go on the website at JacksonWink.com and submit a new fighter inquiry. It's on the front page. Just click on it, fill out the application, and then I will get back to you and we'll talk. So usually, I get everyone communicate on the email. We figure out, what you want to do. How when you come in, how long you're staying. If you're staying inside the facility, if you're staying outside the facility. So very simple.
Okay, I understand. And you already told us some about the trainings and the cross trainings between pro fighters and amateurs. How does it look like? People coming in the morning to the gym, and what's now?
Yeah, they come. We have it differently, like by weights. Like we have like 155 pounders and up. They train, let's say, in the morning at 9:30. Then they finish their training, and then we get the smaller guys started, 155 and below. And then train. Then once the training is over, then we have amateur hour, and then pretty much kind of downtime. So what people do is they do a lot of private sessions. They work on their techniques. They go do strength and conditioning. They do like private sessions, whatever it is. They do mid work. They do, whatever they need to work on, and then they come for the evening session. Mm-hmm. So some days we have grappling, some days we have striking, some days we have wrestling, some days we have open mat, so different things. So our schedule is on the website as well, so you can really see.
Okay. Do you invite some specific fighters to train and spar with your pro fighters before their fights in UFC and so on? And if you do, how do you do that? How do you pick the fighters, the correct fighters to train with yours?
Well, for the most part, we have so many bodies here that you don't even need to invite anyone special because there's always people that you can, find to train with. So, but for like guys like Jona Jonesa, Holly Holm, sometimes we'll bring people in if it's specific look, specific style. But for the most part, we have so many people that we can find people to train with within our team, So, and we're so experienced at doing this. It's one of the most original teams in the world, It's like there's only a couple teams in this world exist from beginning, And one of us is obviously we is one of not many. Mm-hmm. So, we've pretty much been doing this for so long. We know what we're doing. So, but if we need to bring somebody, we'll just contact them at the sport, Usually, if it's a high-level fighter like Jona Jonesa or Holly Holm, we'll find a way to take care of that partner, and we'll bring them in, we'll give them housing and things like that,
Mm-hmm. Couple of Polish guys like Marcin Tybura, Albert Odzimkowski, Sebastian Kotwica were training with you, also Kevin Szaflarski. Do you remember some of them?
Of course. I talk to Kevin almost all the time. Mm-hmm. Talk to other Polish fighters all the time. We have a very good relationship with Poland. Very good. I would say, Polish fighters are some of the best we've ever trained with. They're very talented, and Polish MMA is very strong. So, and we had, we actually even had Jona Jonesa. She trained here for a little bit. She came through. We had Marcin Held. He came through, Then we had guys that stayed for much longer. So we're very familiar with Polish MMA. Very.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask about Marcin Tybura. He was training at JacksonWink MMA a couple of months. Now he's training back in Poland. But when you see his career and how he's fighting in a couple of months, last couple of months, do you see that there is a problem with this changing of a gym? Do you think that he should stay with you and not changing the gym for the Polish one?
It's I can't really comment on that because there's so many different situations that happen with fighters' personal lives and stuff. So for Marcin, he's a very extremely nice person, nice guy,
Yes.
man, very talented, and he we did lose a couple of fights with him, I believe, as well. So it's kind of it's a UFC. When you go to UFC, it's always 50-50. So it's like when you fight at that level, it's I'm sure there's so many strong individuals in Poland, so many great guys that will help Marcin to win fights as well. You lose some, you win some. It's obvious, right? It's an MMA. It's a very very unforgiving sport, but Marcin's very talented no matter where he trains, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter, of course it'd be nice for him to be here, but sometimes certain life situations does not allow people to travel all the time. They have family, they have many different issues that they have to stay home, take care of, while they train. Obviously, it helps a lot of people to get away from home so they don't have distractions and they can get ready. But sometimes it's just not possible. So whatever Marcin decides to do, he always has a home here, so we respect Marcin a lot and wish him the best, so even here or not, and we can't control it, so
Of course.
I can't say that, hey, Marcin, you're not good over there. No, I can't say that. It's a talented, he's a champion.
Yeah, so I asked you about it because a lot of fans are giving us some comments under the interviews with him at YouTube channel that he was better when he was training in JacksonWink MMA. But you already said that it's not only about the talent and training, but also about the place where he is fighting, and it's UFC, so the top of the top fighters.
He's a talented guy. Yeah, there's nothing. But once again, you can't. Like as much as I run social media for JacksonWink, so once you're on top, you get scrutinized a lot. That people are always going to talk and they're going to say bad things and good things and stuff like that. So as much as it hurts and you're trying to look into it and this and that, you have to do what works for you, what's right for you, not even works for you, but kind of like what's right for you. You know what I'm saying? Because things might not work for you, but you have no other choice but to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you have to do what's right for your life, and then because most of those fans and people that talking a lot of nonsense and talking bad things and saying things wherever, they don't know your life situation. They don't know what you're going through. You don't know how many kids you have. They don't know what's going on with your parents. They don't know what's going on. What else is going on in your life that can prevent you from giving 100%.
Yes.
Because UFC for a lot of fighters is not like everything too, because they know the window of opportunity is very small, right? So and not everyone is destined to be Jon Jones or Daniel Cormier, right? So a lot of these fighters, if they don't make a lot of money or they don't fight as often, they have injuries, they have to rely on something else, right? They have to work, they have to support their family, they have to run their businesses, right? They have to do something. So, and these people that are talking nonsense, they don't know that. They don't understand that. That's why it makes no sense.
Yes, they only see your last fight, yes, and this is the
fight or film little clips on the videos.
Yeah.
But it's normal. It's normal. That's why I don't even pay attention to this.
Right. Okay, and one question about Kevin Szaflarski. In Poland, he is reconsidering as one of the biggest hopes for heavyweight in MMA. What do you think about this guy?
Oh, I love Kevin. I love Kevin a lot. I talked to him on Facebook, like maybe even last week I talked to him. I talk to him all the time. He's a Polish bear.
Yeah, he's like... And did you see his last fight at PL MMA?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was a short fight, right? Some kind of controversy, right? But he won the belt. He was going to beat the guy anyway, even if it was. He's very good. Kevin is extremely good. Like when him and Marcin trained here, because Marcin is a specialist on the ground, right? He's a good jiu-jitsu guy. Like him and Kevin, they were like even, And Kevin didn't have that experience yet, and they were like even, And then last time when Kevin was here, he helped Jon Jones to get ready for UFC fight, against Gustafsson. So he is a challenge. I mean, he's a challenge. He learned how to use his weight. He learned how to He's striking better. He's got a Russian coach, boxing coach. They have a very good connection, so they work together a lot. I believe Kevin right now is in Russia, so he's there right now and training like a lot of boxing, a lot of hands. He doesn't kick a lot, but
maybe he will start.
but he's working on his hands and trying to punch well, so which is doing really good. And we love Kevin dearly. He's a great human being. If you ever talk to him, tell him,
I will.
He's part of our family. And Kevin is a very good person, very kind. Everyone likes him here. No one ever had a problem with Kevin to a certain extent. He's been with us. He came here like 5 times. Probably something like that. And he has a bright future.
It is very nice to hear that. I will tell him. Maybe he will also see this interview, I hope. Okay. As you said already, you've got a lot of connections with Poland. This interview is also thanks to Wojciech Zwaduch. Wojtek is our contact now, and he is providing some kind of blog about JacksonWink MMA in Poland. And how did you find yourself? Did Wojtek write to you and said, "See, guys, I want to do something in Poland to make them know better JacksonWink," or so on?
Yeah. He just emailed us. So I get thousands of emails with a lot of inquiries. People always looking for us. Always want to be associated with us. So extra coverage would not hurt. If someone makes it, if it makes him feel better, if he wants to do it, if it helps in one way or another, that's great. No problem.
Nice. Okay, and a couple of questions about your fighters. Of course, I will start with Jon Jones. I have to say that my boss, Mariusz, is a big fan of Jon Jones. I think I wouldn't say a lie if I say it's biggest fan in Poland of Jon Jones. I'm not gonna ask you about your type for his fight with Thiago Santos, but I would like to know what kind of man in private is Jon Jones, because we hear a lot of stuff about him, and people that know him, they say that he is really nice and fine guy.
For sure. I'm happy you asked that question, and I always talk about Jon in the most positive way, because there's no other way I can talk about him, because Jon is just a phenomenally awesome person. Like, whatever media portrays of him or whatever troubles he got in, it happens. It's, whatever people, they either love you or they hate you. So at this point, you can't really, he's done some bad things, to a certain extent, and that gave him bad publicity and things like that. But at the end of the day, he's human. Most of us have done a lot of crazy things that no one will ever know, because just we're not in the public eye, And him being, I guess a rich guy, young person that gained so much notoriety, and it could mess with you, So over time, and some people don't know how to handle it right away, and so it caught up to him, but he seems to be back on track and doing great, So far, I'm not seeing or hearing anything bad. He's very focused on getting his career back, and Jon is just a tremendous person, the way I can tell. Never had a single problem with Jon. He's always super nice to every single person in the gym. Say if it was you right now and you walked in the gym, Jon would be the first one to come up to you and start talking to you and asking where you're from, welcome to the team, how you doing, if I can help you with anything. He's a giver, he's a giver. He gives his time to people, to fans, and then he does it always in a very, very positive way, always smiles. Like, I've never seen Jon Jones sad or mad at anyone, like, to understand. So always positive, always, he's got a good heart. That's it. That's all I can say. It's, maybe a little bit of a troublemaker, but hey, people grow out of it, right? When you're young, you do certain things, and then you kind of grow out of it. And I think he's going through this right now, where he's growing out of it. Like in my life too, it took me a while to catch up with myself too. So it takes time for certain people. And then all those people that are talking bad things. I mean, I don't know. Everyone is different. Everyone has different upbringing. Everyone grew up different way. Everyone's surrounded by different people. So everyone has different characters. So, judging people is not my thing. And unless it's something that's really bad, or I can. Not for me to say, or not to say. I just know he's a good person to me and to everyone that I see. So that's what I can say.
Okay, and one thing I would like to know about Holly Holm. Where did she get her nickname, a preacher's daughter?
Well, her father is a preacher, so...
It's only like that, okay. Simple thing. Yeah.
I heard that's why he's a long-time preacher, and that's how she got that name,
Mm-hmm. And how is the training for the fight with Amanda Nunes? Is Holly Holm in shape?
Yeah, she's in shape all year long. She's a workhorse. Like I call her like a trophy horse. Like when you have the top trophy runner, like it's her. That's why. I know she went through a couple of losses here and there and stuff, but these people just don't realize. Like I guess again, they keep bringing up, she's only 2-4, whatever, in the last 6 fights, but look who she fought, how she fought them, If you think about it, she might as well got Cyborg ready for her loss. Holly took her 5 rounds, it was a good fight, and Cyborg was messed up after that fight. Her face was messed up. Holly took her all the way to decision, and then Amanda fought Cyborg and knock her out. So who is to say that? What if Amanda fought Cyborg first, through 5 rounds, and Holly knocked her out after because Cyborg went through such a war? You know what I'm saying? Same with Ronda Rousey. Holly knocked out Ronda Rousey, and then Ronda Rousey comes back and fights Amanda Nunes, and then Amanda Nunes knocks Ronda Rousey. So go figure. You know what I'm saying? So Holly always fights the top guys and always performs very well against top guys. Plus, there's no one in the team. In the division that is ready for Amanda, but Holly. And Holly can shock the world again. She knows how to do that. She knows. Holly is much better boxer. She moves much more. She is very strong takedown defense. Very strong in the clinch, as you saw in most of her fights. Last fight, she fought a very strong, big fighter. Dominated. Showed a lot of wrestling. Showed a lot of grappling against Megan Anderson. So Holly is in it to win it. So, and then I won't be surprised if she shocks the world again. And she'll be once she wins, she'll be the greatest female fighter to ever do it.
Her 2 or 3 last fights, was in featherweight division. Did she decide to go down to bantamweight again, only for the title?
Say it again. I'm sorry, I missed the question.
Well, she was fighting in featherweight. Last 3 fights, I think, 2 or 3 fights, and now she decided to go back to bantamweight to fight for the title, because Amanda said that she's not going to defend her featherweight title, only the bantamweight, as I understand.
Yeah, there's nothing going on at featherweight, right?
Yeah,
so
there is. I think that there is no division more, because you don't see it at the UFC website. So.
The only thing is, like I said, is Amanda Nunes. It's the only one that makes sense. It's fighting at 135, right? Mm-hmm. So that's there's nothing going on anywhere else.
Right. Of course.
That's strawweights, right?
Okay, Carlos Condit. Well, it's hard to see him losing 5 in a row. What's his attitude now? What does he plan? Do you know something about it?
I know what he plans, I guess, because I've seen him back in the gym training, so he's planning on fighting, I guess. I try not to bother the fighters, especially the ones that are going through hard times. So, I don't want to be any one of those. Hey, so what's next? What's this? What's that? He's a fighter. He's got the heart of a fighter. His life is a fighting. So, I'm sure he wants to retire if he does retire, and then on the win, So I'm sure he's gonna get back to it and then try to win some fights. And he's still fairly young, I know just Carlos hasn't looked the same in the fight. I don't know. It has nothing to do with camp. He trains his butt off. He always trains. So, you know, show, we'll see.
Okay, this week we are going to see Devin Clark in a fight card of UFC in St. Petersburg, and his opponent will be Ivan Shtyrkov. Well, a very big guy, and fans from Russia really expect a lot of this fighter. What can you say about him as an opponent for Clark?
It's a tough test, yeah. It's definitely a very tough one, you know. A big dude with no losses, and he's beat a lot of big names, actually, if you think about it in Russia. But a lot of the big names that he beat, and you know, they were at the end of their careers, really. And Ivan is coming down weight class, so I'm not sure if he fought the light heavyweight or not, but he's going to have to drop a lot of weight, and because he seems like to be a really big guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'll see how his cut, weight cut affects him. So, and then we prepared. Devin trained really hard. He's a powerhouse too. I mean, you know, he's a very good wrestler, very strong, got good power in his hands. So it's a challenge. Any fight is a challenge. You know, any fight is 50-50. Even when Jona Jonesa is going against Santos or whatever, you know, anytime you step into the cage, I always consider it 50-50. That's why I never make bets, because it's impossible to bet on anyone. Every one of these guys trains to punch, to kick, to knock somebody out, to submit, to take him down, right? So they all train that. So that's why I never consider anything luck in this fight, unless you like slipped on something and fell and knocked yourself up.
Yeah.
You know, so for the most part, I don't consider luck. Every one of these guys trains, and every one of these guys can win, or girls can win on any given day, or lose on any given day. So that's why it's a fight.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And talking about girls, your female fighter, Michelle Watterson, won with Karolina Kowalkiewicz her last fight. Michelle, after the fight, said that she's expecting a title shot. Do you think that UFC will give her this chance to fight with the winner of Jessica Andrade and Rose Namajunas fight?
I don't see why not. You know, she's on a 3-fight winning streak. She fought a lot of top names, and even though not, you know, she lost couple fights. You know, she's still, you know, she's in the top 5 right now, right? So I don't see why not. And any of these girls right now in the top 5 or top 6 or whatever, even top 10 can challenge for the belt. So I think it's all a matter of how this fight plays out between Andrade and Namajunas, and then they'll see, right? They'll see. I don't know. It's like, it's all a matter of circumstances, right? Like but I know that UFC loves Michelle, and she's very marketable. She's got huge following. She's and especially after that Karolina fight, you know, Karolina was supposed to be her toughest test, right?
Yeah.
And Michelle just dominated, right? So
yes,
you never know. That's why I said, in this game, you never know, because Karolina is one of the top girls. She took Joanna to like decisions, right? She fought very hard. She fought a lot of top girls. And she's a hard one to beat, but look at Michelle did it. So that's why I said maybe that type of win that gives her a title shot. You never know.
Mm-hmm. Michael, at the end, I would like to ask you, why do you love MMA? Why do you do that what you are doing?
How hard it is. I mean, you cannot not love MMA. I mean, it's a very exciting sport, and I'm a Brazilian brown belt, and soon to be black belt, so I've been training forever too. It's a very exciting sport. It's a very horizon sport. It provides for my family too, you know. So we'd rather want to have a normal job, 9 to 5, and cave and do whatever things, you know, or being something that you enjoy and work, you know, do something you enjoy and be around all these great fighters. Like, I grew up watching MMA, like I grew up watching, you know, all these high level fighters, and now I'm around the gym, so it's hard not, you know, every day you come to the gym, you look outside and you see all these big name fighters and a lot of great up and comers, and a lot of interesting prospects and amateur fighters and pro fighters. That's what you train and grapple and wrestle and things like that. It just makes you feel good, you know. So it's a good sport. It's a good sport. It's a sport. It's a healthy sport, even though it's healthy for your mind, I guess. It's a very addictive sport too. That's why a lot of people are getting into it, because there's so many levels to reach. There's so many things to do, you know, and potentially make money, you know.
Yes. Okay, Michael, we are talking since half an hour, so I know that you are a busy guy, so I would like to thank you for your time and for this talk. One question more. Do you plan to visit Poland someday?
I wish one day, yeah. Well, I mean, if I ever get an opportunity, because like I'm so busy with this gym, I can't even go to Russia, you know, like you know, I'm like attached to this gym. Once in a while, I go to like UFC events and things like that, but mostly my operation is here. But I would love to see, Poland is good, because I lived in Ukraine for a little bit, so and I have a lot of Polish friends, so I would love to. So if I ever get an opportunity, I would go there.
Okay, so I can promise you that I will send kisses and say hello to St. Petersburg from you tomorrow, because we are flying to UFC. Thank you very much one more time for this interview, and I hope that this is our first talk, not the last one.
Sure, please send me the link whenever you upload it. I would love to.
Of course I will.